entertainment.
Welcome to the gig. You're late for work. Let's get it.
I am here on another Friday night, as I always am, in the same spot, across from the clap cleats, Paul O'Neill, Mr. No Sugar Added, Payday Jones.
That's right.
I am the contractor with class, TWD, triple OGC to the OV.
Cove on the camera, Payday on the boss.
And I'm going to tell you one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I will never repossess a shower from a customer, all right? I promise you this.
You won't repo the tiles after you've placed them?
I can understand. So let's...
Can I play the consumer in this one, just out of curiosity? Because there's a lot of angles, like at the
Plenty of angles.
At the point at which they're destroying this tub, we've gone past all logic. But leading up to that, so when you...
Let's do this first.
Okay.
I did. My wires are touching things.
I'm
What's
sorry.
up to everybody in the chat? You guys are here, the GiG Podcast. You probably know where you're at. We appreciate you being here. We're also streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, if that's a place that you would rather hang out. We will be here for the next few hours chilling. Please feel free to call in if something hits a nerve, or you got something else you want to talk about, or shit, if you want to say hello. If you're in the chat, drop that you're in here. Say what's up to us. We'll give you a shout out. So, just as a brief explanation.
Yeah.
There was a video posted by like a Denver news source that apparently a contractor, the video shows a contractor bashing a shower, popping tiles off the wall, smashing this shower.
Just wilding.
Yeah.
Just completely wilding.
Really unhappy he seemed. He seemed very unhappy.
Yes.
The claim was that the customer, whatever her name is, something truck, right? Owed him another $4,000 in order to finish the payment. She didn't want to pay it. Right? So he decided he was going to show up with a sledgehammer and a Sawzall and start getting reverse busy.
So, all right. So here's where I want to jump in with a couple questions, since I'm just a layman in this one.
Yeah.
So when you get contracted to do a job, right? And I'm none of this is about making this lady in the right or anything like that. You get contracted to do a job. You get contracted to remodel my bathroom.
Yeah.
We go through the process of picking the tile and all that shit. And so we both agree the colors, the way it's going to be set up, all that. You go to work, you finish the job, and I go in and I feel like you've done what I asked, but your craftsmanship is much worse than I anticipated.
Yeah.
What's my recourse at that point besides not paying you? Besides not saying, hey, look, I thought it was going to be good and it's not good, and so I'm just going to withhold the last payment.
So this is the first. This is the first crossroads, the first fork in the road that you get to.
Right now,
when looking at this situation.
Right now, we're still gentlemen.
Yeah. And when looking at this particular situation where this guy decided to repo the shower, this is the first fork you come into when you're thinking through this, right?
Right.
Like we didn't see what the job looked like.
Right. We're at burnt, scorched earth, so we don't know really what led up to this, but there's all these possibilities.
Well, yeah. And I think your best course of action is you made the agreement. So you have to do everything in your power as the customer to research, get the references, look at some pictures of work, whatever, talk to whoever you have to talk to, look at whatever you have to look at, right?
Right.
Because when you get to this point, if you get to the end of the job and contractor gave it 100%, now even though his 100% doesn't necessarily level up to your 100%, he gave you the best product he can give you. If you're not happy with it, it's a gray area.
So let's say I did my due diligence. You're 5-star rated on Yelp and on Angie. The pictures in your portfolio, you're an ace. Just happened to be an off week for you. You and your wife were having a fight all week, so your mind was elsewhere, and you just didn't do your normal level of perfection.
It really comes down to what the imperfections are that are upsetting you, because there's some things that are big that can, should, and will be fixed.
Right.
And some things are maybe a corner to cut that, like
should
just look the
let it
other
slide.
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think sometimes some homeowners, they go either way, right? You have homeowners that have unrealistic expectations.
Sure, absolutely.
And then you have homeowners that just don't give a shit what you do because they
Right.
just see the overall picture and don't look at the details of
Right.
it.
They just don't want the moldy tile anymore, and you took care of that, so they're good.
Which then makes it fall. It really has to fall on the contractor to be. And it's taken me a while to learn this in my career.
Okay.
Up to the point of like me being a business owner, is that I have to have the pickiest eye. I have to have the
Right.
most obsessive eye. I had a little bit of. Sometimes I butt heads with Mike, right? Because I say, "Hey, Gav, did you do X, Y, and Z?" And he'll say, "No." And I'm like, "Well, you got to."
I need you to.
Yeah. And he's like, "Dude, all right, chill, just relax."
Right.
Like, no, because my name is on this thing. Right.
No matter what, it all speaks to you.
I get it. Maybe I'm talking to you like an asshole, so okay, I'll pull that back. But the idea is that like I have to give this 120% because I don't want to have to pay for anything. I don't want to not get paid.
Right.
I don't want to have to come back here in 3 weeks to fix some dumb shit
Or smash the tub.
or repossess a shower. So what I'm thinking is, so I watched the video.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, this guy was wearing, so first sign that he was a little bit of a jerk off.
Did he have the high vis shirt on?
No. He was wearing rosary beads.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, not that, listen,
Well,
I love the
hey,
Christian and Catholic folk. That's phenomenal.
At this point,
But
technically, he's
most-
just breaking and entering, so he needs Jesus with him to get him out safely.
Most people who rock rosary beads as jewelry are not to be trusted. Let's just call it what it is.
Is that just general policy?
Yeah. Pay, have you ever took your rosary beads and decided to wear them as a chain outside of the house?
Not since my confirmation, no.
Yeah. Do you wear them at your confirmation? Like during the ceremony
no,
of your
I
confirmation?
think I had them in my pocket. But that's probably the last time they left my house, even not on me, not being worn externally.
Yeah. Right. So if you run into rule number 1, you invite a contract to your house and he's wearing rosary beads, that's not the contractor you want to hire.
Now, I'm going to say something horrible here, and you do what you want with it, but does that sort of eliminate a certain entire class of contractor?
Like Italian South Philly contractors?
Or Mexican, Spanish? Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
but
they're
them guys-
strongly religious, too.
Yeah, but they don't wear rose.
Okay.
I feel like
That's
if
way
you're
more of an
strong,
Italian
yeah.
thing.
No, I feel like if you're strongly religious, you probably don't wear the
don't.
rosary beads. It's like
That's for show.
yeah, you give the rosary beads the respect they're due, and
Okay.
you use them how they're supposed to be used. The wearing the rosary beads is like a schmuck thing. Like,
Right.
look at me, man. I got Jesus in my life.
I got Jesus and Mary. They're all here. Let's go to work.
I got these rosary beads, so I'm trustworthy. It's just a douchey thing to do.
Right.
So that's the first wrong, right?
Okay.
And his mannerisms, he had the mannerisms of a gentleman who just did his last Oxycontin and didn't have any money to buy the next one.
And it was her fault.
And he was like very angry. Like,
Yeah.
And
Oh,
to me,
you
like
have to
I'd be pissed off by not getting paid, right?
Absolutely.
But I also understand that by me flipping the fuck out helps none. And if you're in business for any amount of time, you understand that flipping out doesn't get you to where you want to be.
Not only that, but in a situation like this, whatever she didn't pay you, you're now going to lose so much more than that. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing with something like this. And I know we're at the point where he's not logical anyway. But at the point at which you're in this lady's house smashing up her tub, there was zero chance that you were going to like get away with it, I guess, right? Like you could have never walked in there, smashed the tub and left, and the lady would have been like, well, shit happens. I didn't pay him, whatever.
Yeah.
And moved on. There was no fucking way. So he knew he was going to get his face splashed everywhere for doing this. So he knew he was going to go into further debt by doing this. What the fuck? Why do it?
Because he needed another Oxycontin.
Okay.
And he thought that if he repossessed the shower, he was going to be able to trade it up on Kensington Ave for 2 bags.
He could bring the faucet up there.
I got this shower head. You know what I mean? What can I? Come on, a shower head for a half a pill.
This is real chrome.
Yeah. Listen, here's the other thing, right? On the flip side of this situation,
Right.
This broad is a real cunt, bro. I could just tell by her interview. This was her exact words were, I wanted to be wowed.
Yeah. So
And I wasn't wowed.
yeah, see that? But okay, so
That brings in
So-
the like, hey, by being, for you to be wowed, you can't see what's going on. Like, you're already not wowed because you've decided you want this. You've been watching it the whole time go along. It's
Right.
not like all of a sudden you close your eyes, you have a fucking bathroom from 1973, open your eyes, and there's a fucking walk-in shower with a fucking dip tub and a his and hers sink and all that shit. So the wow factor, you're not going to get it.
well, not only that, but
That's
being wowed is subjective. Like,
Yeah.
if you came to my house and I said, I want you to put my floors in, okay, what kind of floors do you want? And I said, wow me, I'm 100% sure that you would just say, I don't really need this job, but thank you anyway.
I don't think I can
Like,
wow
like there should be, I want white tile, this size here. I want, a mirror here. I want a vanity here. It should be this color with this kind of wood. And then when we can, these are tangible things we can check off. You can't give somebody a job to do and say the important thing here is that you blow me away, because what the fuck, what if it was a bad day for her and she comes in and she was already miserable and she looks around, she's like, this just isn't what I was hoping for, get out of my house.
Yeah. Yeah, she's just she had her attitude.
She's watched too much HGTV.
Yeah, she was very, for lack of a better term, she had a very Karen vibe, and not Karen Cove, Mom. It's not anything against you.
coincidence.
My mom hates that Karen is
It
a
became
thing.
a thing.
Yeah, it's not about you, Ma.
Not tonight.
No, she has a very Karen-y vibe, very like.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right.
Here's the probably doesn't have a man because she's that kind of like cunty broad.
or a real soft one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
quite possibly.
like,
But
she-
also, like,
for just the microcosm of all of it is she went on the news in her area and said, I just wanted to be wowed, and thought like people will understand and feel my pain here. Like,
everybody knows
right,
what it's
everyone
like to want
understands
to be
not
wowed
be wowed when you want
and
it to
not be wowed.
Yeah,
I'm
they'll
looking.
they'll all be on my side and give to my Patreon.
Yeah, it's like it's like that fucking that deservingness or like that entitlement.
Yeah.
It's like that entitlement. Like that entitlement was oozing off of her in the interview. So I think that we run into a situation where we got two shit people
Right.
dealing with each other, and they decided that the course of action was to put it out to the public to say like
mutually assured destruction.
like no he's shittier than me, and he's
Right.
like no she's shittier than me, and we're looking at you like yous are
You're
both
both shitty.
assholes. Erase the tape and fucking start over
Right.
or something. You're wasting our fucking brain cells
least-
by making us think about it.
At least sweep up and leave.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that was a thing that fucking happened
All right.
this morning. Let me tell you this, right?
Okay. You got
There's-
real serious there.
There's a lot of places out here in the New Jersey area
Yeah.
that you can get a breakfast sandwich from.
Oh, of course.
All right,
That's like, it's kind of like a thing Jersey's known for. It's one of our things.
it
The
is
pork
actually.
roll, the pork roll, egg and cheese is like
Yeah, when I
a
lived
very
in
Jersey thing.
Trenton,
And scrapple.
2 blocks away was the pork roll factory.
The Taylor,
Was it
or
Taylor?
was it a different one?
Cases.
Cases. Okay.
Cases pork roll.
Okay.
And it's funny because it's not much of a factory. It's like
No.
two row homes stapled together and fucking with a
Yeah. I mean, I
a
don't
stack on top.
I don't really want to think too much about it, but there's not a lot that goes into making pork roll. It's kind of like a mash.
It's like throwing a pig in a blender.
If
and then
you're lucky, you
fucking
get the whole
stuffing
pig.
them in
Yeah.
a thin sock.
The leftovers.
Yeah. So there's a lot of places in Jersey
Yes,
that you could get
you
a
get-
pork roll sandwich. None of them are as good as Sharky's Bagels. What's-
Sharky's is really, really up there.
The best.
for sure. Yeah, Sharky's is up there.
Let's put that to the side,
Yeah.
right? We're not dealing with that tier.
Okay,
We're going to-
we're not God tier. Okay.
Yeah, we're going second level tier. Although my customer today told me there's a new spot next to the Custard Shack on the Black Horse Pike called something Biscuit Company,
Okay.
like fucking Rocky Mountain Biscuit Company
Okay.
or Colorado
That sounds-
Canyon Biscuit Company.
That sounds
or
real chainy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. She said it's phenomenal, so I might try it tomorrow. Depends on how much rum chata I drink tonight
Sure.
and what time I wake up tomorrow.
Right.
So we're going second tier. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, when you go second tier, you start thinking about the chain places. You know, you think
Okay.
you think about your Wawas. You
okay.
might even think about. Listen, there's a
No,
you got top tier,
Well, you have,
and then you got second tier.
Yeah, but
Second tier is also bottom tier.
well, no. See, I think you have your God tier, and there's probably like 4 places that I know of within 50 miles of here that fit that. Sharky's is definitely one of them. A place over in Cherry Hill called the Bagel Place
'Kay.
is a fucking monster. And then there's one right by the Cherry Hill Mall just called, I think it's called the Bread Store. And they're killer all day long.
Okay.
But then tier 2 to me is like ShopRite, where they probably bake their own bagels in house, but because they're baking them for 8 different stores, the quality can't be there like
We're
it can
talking
be.
sandwich though.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And
But you
I've
gotta-
never
you
seen a
gotta
shop
start
right where you
somewhere.
get a sandwich.
And then there's the trash tier, which is like your fast food, and I think like that's unfortunately where Wawa falls in these days.
Well, this is what I'm trying to get to is Wawa fucked up somewhere? I'd say about 10 years ago.
No,
Because, right?
20.
Okay, I'll give you 20.
Yeah.
Sometime a while ago.
Yeah.
I went and got a hairy egg today from Heritage.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In comparison to Wawa, that hairy egg looks, if you took a Wawa sandwich and a hairy egg, the hairy egg looks like Sharky's because it's so much better than Wawa.
Yeah.
Because they're making it with, I saw the guy scrambling the eggs behind it's like like real
It's
deli
like a
situation.
griddle back there. Yeah.
Which then made me look at Heritage and see like they did what Wawa was doing 20 years ago, but didn't try and fucking expand. Wawa fucked up by trying to go all these different lanes. There's no reason in the world that anybody should fucking buy an egg roll from Wawa, right? Wawa is trying to give you empanadas and fucking egg rolls, and by doing that, by trying to expand in all these directions, they have to cut in other spots, right?
So I'm gonna first of all, off the bat, absolutely agree that they've gone to trash.
Yeah.
That's not part of this conversation.
Yeah.
So I'll say a couple different things, and then I will completely be hypocritical about it. So at some point in time, especially my late youth, like my late teens, early 20s, Wawa was a hoagie shop that also had a lot of sodas it was truly a convenience store.
Yeah.
You go in.
It was a deli.
It was a deli. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was a deli, but it was a little bit expanded of a deli. It was even a little better than a deli.
Yeah.
Because it was open 24 hours first and foremost.
Yeah.
At some point, it was about 22 years ago, they decided we are now a gas station that carries sandwiches.
Yeah.
And look, we have this conversation a lot about capitalism and how it should work and how it should function. And what I always see, to me, is like greed is always the final answer, right? Like Wawa could have stopped at being a deli and could have been supremely successful and made a lot of money and still been that deli and be fine. But they decided they wanted to make a whole lot more money, and the money is in the gas and the coffee, and everything else falls to the side at that point.
Yeah.
So which is the right decision? Keep your high quality or go chase your money? Because you had to have one or the other. Except that there's places like Quick Check that are coming in from the north now. And I think the closest...
And Royal Farms coming from the south.
See, Royal Farms...
They're a direct competitor.
No,
except they have fried chicken.
I'm not questioning their competitors, but so I've had a sandwich from each of these 3 places.
Yeah.
Royal Farms, they don't train their employees. They clearly don't really give a shit about anything but the chicken part of it.
Well, here's the thing, bro. I've heard a lot of people say, right, and this is fucking malarkey. A lot of people are like, oh, did you try Royal Farm? Because they just started in this area, right? They've just showed up
Maybe
in the
2
past
years,
3 years,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people are like, did you try Royal Farms?
Yeah.
They got great fried chicken. Their fried chicken is trash.
I've talked about this a lot in different situations because clearly all I do is talk and think about food.
Yeah.
This is a bad area. The tri-state area here, and even if you include the New York tri-state area, this is a bad area to come in as a chain, no matter how well touted you are, because it seems to me like within a spitting distance, no matter where you are in New Jersey, there's a excellent local whatever food it is you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Right? So these chains that come in with their banner that says best fried chicken 20 years running, there's fried chicken in Philadelphia at the gas stations in Philadelphia that will blow this out of the. They'll blow chefs out of the water.
There's fried chicken at a liquor store on North 2nd and Clinton Ave in fucking Plainfield, New Jersey, that shits on any piece of chicken you ever had.
There's a Crown around the corner that has beautiful fried chicken.
Yeah.
So I know that they come in with their high praise, but they're never going to hold up to the best of the best. You have to just compare them to their tier.
Yeah.
Like the other gas station chickens. But around here, gas station chicken is amazing.
I don't...
in a lot of places.
Yeah.
So, but then,
whatever. Their chicken is whack is what I'm saying.
fair
Royal
enough.
Farms chicken is whack.
And their quality inside, like their employees aren't worried about the quality of the sandwiches.
They're no better than Wawa.
Quick check. They're slicing the meat fresh. They're still actually like roasting the peppers on site. Like they actually have figured out how to be a growing chain that has gas and coffee and still operates like a deli.
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing right. But my guess would be that they probably have a third as many stores as Wawa, and that's the difference. Wawa just went for the cash.
I don't know off the top of my head where there's a quick check in this general vicinity.
Closest one, as far as I know, is Burlington.
Yeah, they're a little bit further
coming
north.
from the north, yeah.
Yeah. So Heritage, which I think I'd be willing to bet has probably been around, if not
I think it predates
longer
Wawa.
than Wawa,
Yeah.
at least as long. And they've maintained the deli and a couple of bags of chips and a soda, and you could get a fucking potato salad, and they do it solid. Even just walking in there, it felt better than going to a fucking Super Wawa. Everything looked cleaner. It smelled better. And then once I fucking saw the dude scrambling my eggs in a bowl by himself, it didn't matter that he cooked them in the microwave. The motherfucker scrambled them with a fork behind the deli. It was a good sandwich.
And you know,
and I forgot about Heritage.
Speaking of Wawa again, the weirdest thing that they do, and I don't know if they still do it, but at least a year ago they were doing it. If you go to the Wawa, there's a one Wawa on Route 73 and Evesham Road. That's their training center. They will still make you a fresh sandwich there. They still will cut the meat, and the bread is from Amoroso. Like, I don't understand why they let that one operate, because it just makes it even more apparent that the rest of the Wawas have gone to shit. Yeah.
As exciting as Wawa talk is.
Moving on.
Burger
King.
Well, before we move on,
okay,
I'd like to just mention that if you're listening,
yeah,
we are, this show is sponsored by Clap Cleats.
Clap Cleats.
So when you want more traction for the action and more thrust for the lust, Clap Cleats.
Clap Cleats.
If you're unfamiliar, Clap Cleats are a pair of socks that have a grip on the bottom, so when you're beating the cheeks, you get a little bit more, just a little bit more traction for the action, if you will. What's going on with the beeps?
I don't know how to kill the beeps without killing the other stuff on mine. I didn't consider that I'm hooked in on two different things.
So if you're a guy who takes off your Timberlands to fuck, look into Clap Cleats.
Look into them.
And you can use the code the GiG and get 15% off your purchase, which makes them about $1.50 cheaper. They're $10.
It's clapcleats.com. Even on their site, if you go to their site, they're only going to give you 10% off. But if you use the GiG,
you get 15.
In the promo code, you get 15% off. And if you were ever looking for a way to get our name out there, this is the move, so that when he calls back in a month and says, you guys had 30, 40, 50 pairs of socks that you sold for us, that's beautiful, we can feel better about everything.
So go get some goddamn Clap Cleats. Your
They're,
wife will thank you.
She will. And also, for the older folks, it's safe. It's a safety thing.
Have safe sex.
That's right.
Raw.
Raw.
All right. Clap Cleats.
Clap Cleats.
So back in the day when we were eating Wawa sandwiches, when Wawa was a good sandwich, I had a friend. My friend's name was the Jedi.
Okay.
Dave the Jedi. In some circles, he was known as Dave the drug dealer.
Okay.
Although Dave never dealt a drug in his life.
All right.
That's
how good of a Jedi he was. He had them convinced he did.
It was kind of a faux pas how he wound up being Dave the dealer. But the Jedi, he went on quite a different path than I after high school, and he joined the police force.
Oh, okay.
Now, this was in middle school. The Jedi was the best of friends.
Okay.
This was my guy. We hung out in his basement every day. We fucking drank Mad Dog 2020s together. We tried to see as many underage breasts as we could.
Well, you were also underage.
Well, we were underage,
yes,
of course.
Yes.
We did. I have a wild story, maybe that I'll tell at the end of the podcast about when we robbed a house party. But we split paths around 20.
Okay.
You know, he went to the dark side, and I continued on living life the way I lived it.
So in that time period, not now looking back, but in that time period, you're pretty close friends, and then he tells you, "Hey, Cove, I'm going to join the police force." Are you heartbroken?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Quite literally. But so we grew apart. Needless to say,
Right.
we grew apart. And also, hold that thought.
Okay.
Let's bring this thought in.
All right.
I've noticed, and we discussed it via text a few days ago, that we are really good at mediating beefs.
Yes.
We are beef mediators.
Yes. We can clear up. Bring us any beef. We'll
And
straighten
we'll
it out.
square it away.
We're actually pretty sure we can fix the north-south thing.
You lost me there, but I'm sure intellectually that was hilarious.
Thank you.
We've been mediating a lot of beefs
Yeah,
lately.
yeah.
It's we could go through the list, but there's too many to name.
We decided that we're grown-ups now, and most beef just doesn't need to exist, and it's petty, childish stuff that we can kind of get everybody to see the right perspective on.
And we've been pretty successful.
I think so.
So I wasn't beefing with the Jedi,
Okay.
but I also wasn't actively pursuing a friendship that was such a vital friendship.
Right.
And, in my comeuppance,
Right.
in my coming-of-age story,
Right.
the Jedi hit me up
Recently.
just this week.
Okay.
So he hit me from a name that wasn't his. This was also right after I was trying to bait scammers.
Oh, okay.
So I thought maybe the scammer sent, like,
Was-
another
right.
scammer to act like a customer to get me to, like, bite,
Right.
right? So I ignored it, didn't fucking accept the friend request. Find a couple days later a message that was like in the message requests or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's the Jedi. The Jedi, as an officer of the law,
Okay.
I don't put it past him to do officer of the law things. However,
Right.
he hit me up and said, like, "Hey, who is this? I recognize this name. Who is he?" And I'm like, "Oh, we went to school with him. He was a knucklehead, hung out with so-and-so and so-and-so." And he was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, I remember.
I said, "Why do you ask? Did he die?" Because that's my assumption,
Sure.
right? He's like, No. We were trying to get him some help. He's in a pretty rough spot.
Okay.
And it, like, struck me, like, that doesn't make sense for cops to be trying to get someone help, like, in the drug world, right? Because
All right.
as far as I've ever seen, being knee-deep in drugs and that world, a cop never just stops and says, "Hey, bud, you look like you're having a tough time.
Right.
Maybe we can do something to help get you up out of this."
Okay.
It's, "Hey, fucker, put your hands on the wall. What's in your pockets?"
Right.
Empty the pockets. They're always going for an arrest.
Okay.
So to hear that, rather than arrest this kid, because I'm sure he had some drugs in his pocket, right? Or I'm sure I'm sure there was something that he could have been arrested for.
Right.
So to hear that the Jedi and his partner or whoever who was associated in that move that night, to hear that their first course of action was like, "Hey, let's see if we can get this kid a
Right.
bed in a rehab or a hospital or help him get his shit together," is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Because also the Jedi said, he was like, "People aren't looking on us favorably right now."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Yeah, I know that. I don't envy you at all."
Right.
But, and this is what I said to him, but if you keep doing shit like that, right? You keep making moves like, "Hey, this guy's having a tough time. Let's see what we could do to help him."
Certainly won't hurt your image.
As opposed to, "Get on the fucking wall. Let's see what we can arrest you for." You're only going to start to switch, be looked upon more favorably
Right.
in the community.
Right.
So it was good to see that, right?
Yeah. I know you rule out every cop instantly the minute they put on a badge, and I certainly get why.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure you have elders that tell you stories like the cops would pull you over for driving drunk, and what they would do is take you home and tell you, when you feel better, come and get your car, but leave it there. Well, no. But this is what my uncles always told me would happen.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
Cops, the cops were really invested in making the neighborhood better.
Yeah,
not just making arrests.
Yeah,
and so there's no reason to think that you can't go back to that wave. You just need to give them incentive to go back to that wave. And like your buddy said, the fact that they're really coming to terms with the fact that people do not like the police anymore, maybe they're starting to understand that they need to change their course of action.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, maybe that is. Maybe the hatred for them has become enough. Yeah, has become enough of an incentive to not be hated and not have to feel like your ass is on the line every move you make. Right. Maybe that's enough of an incentive to start switching it back, which would be great. It would be phenomenal to see, like, hey, we're not arresting everybody. We're just trying to police from as a part of the community, rather than like what they have been, sort
of against the community.
Yeah, like an occupational force.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's especially so in lower class neighborhoods, whether it be super poverty-stricken neighborhoods like, the hoods in North Philly or Camden or that type of situation, lower middle class, Lindenwold and Vinelands and spots like that, because it seems to be more that occupational force kind of thing seems to be on the lower middle class and lower class tier more so than the upper class. And I don't know what's going on with the video, but it keeps being interrupted. So I hope it's all right. I hope we're not having another fucking situation.
I hope so too, because it looks like it looks super clean on my end. There doesn't seem to be any issues. So hopefully it's working fine for the people, at the very least the audio, if not everything. But yeah, the lower class and the middle lower class thing, it's sort of like this self-perpetuating cycle. So they militarize the police, and then they send the police in to places where there's already high crime, and then they take that high crime. After those warm words from Clap Cleats, we really appreciate them sponsoring the show. Don't forget, if you get the opportunity to go ahead and purchase some Clap Cleats, you go to clapcleats.com, you put in the promo code the GiG, and you'll get 15% off of your first pair of Clap Cleats. So that's a phenomenal offer that you need to take them up on.
All right. I think we're back.
We'll find out.
It looks like not so much. It looks like we still got the same fucking issue. We're live. Let's see what's up here. All right. Let's see that.
We're rolling. I can see the ticker rolling.
It's doing the same thing. We're going to get started, and then it's going to be interrupted, and then it's going to come back, and then it's going to be interrupted. There it goes, interrupted again. All right. Well, we appreciate you stopping by for this half hour. This was a short one. We are going to fall back, replan, and readjust, and figure out why we've been having so many of these goddamn problems lately, and attack it from a new angle. We apologize if you were here looking for a 3-hour episode tonight, but it is not going to happen. Now,
it might.
Join us on Monday. We got the tool shed, and we will have shit ironed out at that point. And if we don't, then we'll be maybe switching over to pre-recording and just releasing episodes.